Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I have to give all praise and infinite glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem Kakwadash. Yahweh being the true and only cause God, Bahashem being the name of, and Yahushai being our true Lord and Savior, who will only call Jesus, and the Kakwadash being the Holy Spirit. Double honors to Apostle and elders, a great millstone that rule on the worthy double honors. And peace and blessings you hope for like out there, pushing the work of the Lord in true faith, sincerity, and promoting your bodies as a living sacrifice. Shalom Paul as well. So today's edification and exhortation, this lesson, going to be basically going over how the use of familiar spirits, or also known as the use of like voodoo, black magic, etc., is off according to the scriptures and is considered a sin, because first and foremost, you're breaking one of the main laws of them all, which is thou shalt not have any other god, before me. And let's get into that, man. Shall not have. Yeah, this is like one of the first laws, man. You know what I'm saying? That's literally one of the first laws, man. It's the book of Exodus. Let's go to the book of Exodus, chapter 20, starting at the first verse. And Yahweh spake all the words, saying, I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. You know what I'm saying? So, when you use, black magic, voodoo, you know what I'm saying, any other dark force, you know what I'm saying, or even, going to psychics and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying, palm readings, that's all off. Because you're following another god, man. You know what I'm saying? When you indulge in those things, man. You know what I'm saying? Familiar spirits, man, especially Israel, man, the tribes, love using, familiar spirits, Prime examples, being Simeon and Levi, you so-called, Simeon, tribe of Simeon being you so-called Dominicans, you know what I'm saying? And Levi, being, you so-called Haitians, These are one of the two most, known countries of using voodoo, and this is actually in the scriptures, man, So let's go to the book of Genesis 49, man, to see that, man. Because, it was prophesied that, Simeon and Levi, man, would be using, voodoo, man. All right. Let's go to the book of Genesis, chapter 49 and 5. Genesis, chapter 49 and 5, and it reads, Simeon and Levi are brethren. Instruments of cruelty are in their habitations. Let's read that again. Genesis 49 and 5. Simeon and Levi are brethren. So, the two countries, Haiti and Dominican Republic, are basically in the same land, man. They're neighboring countries. And instruments of cruelty are in their habitations, man. So, the instruments of cruelty is being the use of familiar spirits, using voodoo. You know what I'm saying? Or to yeah. So, Haitians use voodoo, and Dominicans use a thing called Las 21 Divisiones, Divisiones, Las 21 Divisiones, which is the 21 divisions. That's what they use, you know what I'm saying, which is off, man, because you're going after another god, and now let's go to the scriptures, where it says, Basically a sin to use, you know, familiar spirits, man. Uh, it's a law, man. So let's go to the book of Leviticus, chapter 19 and verse 31. Leviticus 19 and 31, and it reads, "Regard not them that have familiar spirits, neither seek after wizards to be defiled by them. I am the Lord your God," man. So you're not supposed to regard them that have, familiar spirits, people who do voodoo. You're one of your family members, you know what I'm saying, could be, I'm a Levite, you know what I'm saying, and I know family members, who indulge, in the use of dark magic, you know what I'm saying, which is off, and we're not supposed to regard these people, man. We're supposed to stay away from that, man. You know, and neither seek ye after wizards, man. Witches, wizards, warlocks. You're supposed to stay away from those people, man. You know what I'm saying? Like doing palm readings. Going to psychics. You know what I'm saying? That's all off, man. So neither seek after wizards to be defiled by them. I am the Lord your God, man. You know what I'm saying? So the Lord, that's one of the commandments, man. And now, you know, let's go to the book of Leviticus, chapter 20, in verse 6. This book of Leviticus, chapter 20, and verse 6, and it reads, "And the soul that turneth after such as have familiar spirits," you know what I'm saying? So if you are a person who, ultimately turns to familiar spirits, man, you know what I'm saying? And after wizards, to go a whoring after them, you know what I'm saying? You're eager, you know what I'm saying, to know the future, you know what I'm saying? Psychic, going to psychics, you know what I'm saying? Going to people, like, for instance, you might have, beef with somebody, and all of a sudden, oh, you're going to ask, somebody, oh, let me put this voodoo on, this person so they could die, or so I can get rich, so I can get out the situation. That's going off, man. You know what I'm saying? And this is what the Lord's going to do, man. And if the soul that turneth after as such that have familiar spirits and after wizards to go a whoring after them, I will even set my face against that soul, and I will cut them off from among his people, man. So the Lord is going to turn his face away from you, man, if you, go after, familiar spirits and start indulging in those things, man. You know what I'm saying? And also, we can actually go into definition of, familiar spirits, Um, man. Familiar spirits, man, are spirits or demons that serve or prompt mediums or sorcerers, man. You know what I'm saying? So anything, what I'm saying, that involves, these wicked spirits, these demons, stuff like that, man. You know what I'm saying? Another definition is a demon supposedly attending and obeying a witch, often said to assume the form of an animal. You know what I'm saying? So, we go to Haitian history, you might hear in Haiti that they might turn someone, into a pig or into a goat, you know what I'm saying, or stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And that's going off, man. According to the scriptures, using these spirits, man. You know? We're supposed to trust in the Lord, man. If you want to send a curse onto somebody, you know what I'm saying, then you're going to pray to the Lord, man. You know what I'm saying? And you can send up curses, man. You know what I'm saying? It's not a bad thing to send curses upon people, but when you say these curses, man, you know what I'm saying? You say it in the name of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, not in the name of these wicked spirits, man. You know what I'm saying? And now let's go to the book of Leviticus chapter 20 into verse 27, man. This is going to show what happens if you use a, familiar spirit again. Leviticus 20 and verse 27, and it reads, "A man also or women that have a familiar spirit, or that is a wizard, shall be surely put to death, and they shall stone them with stones, and their blood shall be upon them," man. So the Lord, is not dealing with, familiar spirits, man. You know what I'm saying? That's going off. Quick testimony. I mean, not from me. Wait, not from me, but yeah. I'm actually gonna. Yeah. That's quick testimony. So I would say over this past summer, I've got into it, with one of my carnal, one of the family members, carnally, and got into this big situation. Then I had left, you know what I'm saying. Then I would say like 2 days later, 2 or 3 days later, out of nowhere, I just get a huge sickness, man. It was probably the sickest I've ever been, and it was during the summertime too. It was probably one of the, most gruesome sicknesses I've ever went through. You know what I'm saying? And then luckily, I was healed because, the Lord, when you have the Spirit of the Lord on you, man, you stay constantly staying in prayer. The Lord gonna got you. The Lord's gonna protect you. The Lord's gonna allow you to overcome. You know, no weapon formed against thee shall prosper, man. So I'm under the impression now that I really sit back and realize that this woman, ultimately put you know familiar spirits on me, man. You know what I'm saying? You know. So this is why it's important, to stay prayed up, man, because there's a lot of spirits against us, man, so we have to stay strong, fast, you know what I'm saying? You know, stay in the spirit, pray and and ask for the Lord, for constant protection, man, because these spirits are against us. You know what I'm saying? And some people might go out their way to actually put, these spirits on us, man. You know what I'm saying? So like what happened to me, now that I really sit back, I'm like, dang, she could have potentially, put, what I'm saying, these spirits on me, man. You know what I'm saying? It's not really my family member, but it was, a woman that was dealing, with my, father, so to speak, you know. But, it just that's should be taken in consideration, man, that we're supposed to stay in the spirit, man. And now let's go to the book of Deuteronomy. Let's go to the book of Deuteronomy um, 18, starting at the 10th verse. Deuteronomy 18 and 10. And it reads, there shall not be found among you anyone that maketh his son or daughter to pass through the fire, or useth divination, or an observer of times, or an enchanter, or witch, man. You know what I'm saying? So you're not supposed to make, your son or daughter, what I'm saying, go through any form of use of, familiar spirit. You know what I'm saying? Whether is it like a, observer of times, you want to find out, oh, if your son going to make it to the league, you know what I'm saying? Or if your daughter's going to be on American Idol in the year 2055, nah, man, that's going off. You know what I'm saying? Going to psychics, going to enchanters, you know what I'm saying? Going to witches, you know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. That's going off. You shouldn't put your kids through that, man. In verse 11, or a charmer, or a consulter with familiar spirits, or a wizard, or a necromancer. You know what I'm saying? In verse 12, for although these things are an abomination unto the Lord, and because of those abominations, the Lord thy God doeth drive them out from before thee, man. So it's an abomination, man, and it's even worse, man, when you put your kids through that. You know what I'm saying? Or I want my son to be 6'7", so I'm gonna use this voodoo. Or I want my son's girlfriend to leave my son's life. You know what I'm saying? Or stuff like that. That's going off, man. You shouldn't be using those spirits, man. You know what I'm saying? And when you go into the book of First Chronicles, man. You come to find out that Saul, if you go into the story, story of Saul, you know what I'm saying, he ultimately went off. He was one of the kings, King Saul. He ultimately went off because he was using, familiar spirits, man. You know what I'm saying? And he ultimately died for that, man. So that's a prime example of not to go, you know, indulge, and receive, familiar spirits, man. You know what I'm saying? You should have your complete faith in the Lord. And that's where Saul went off. You know what I'm saying? We're going to find that in the book of First Chronicles, chapter 10, starting at the 13th verse. First Chronicles 10 and 13, and it reads, So Saul died for his transgression, which he committed against the Lord, even against the word of the Lord, which he kept not. So Saul, didn't keep the word of the Lord, man, because one of the commandments was to not go after, familiar spirits. And continuing on, which he kept not. And also for asking counsel of one that had a familiar spirit to acquire of it, man. So Saul was out here, even though he was a king, and supposedly the Lord was supposed to deal with him or whatever, you know what I'm saying? He ultimately went to a familiar spirit, man. You know what I'm saying? Trying to figure something out, which is going off. In verse 14, and inquired not of the Lord, man. So he acquired, a familiar spirit, man. You know what I'm saying? Use of voodoo, whatever, man. You know what I'm saying? He was asking, for things, but you should be asking of the Lord, man. You should be inquiring of the Lord, not familiar spirits, man. If you want to know the future, or if you want to know you're going to be all right, man, you pray to the Lord, man. You ask for the Lord, for signs, man. You ask the Lord for visions, man. The Lord gives brothers visions, man. So if you want to see visions, pray to the Lord for that, man. You know what I'm saying? If you want to know, like, if you're okay, if you're gonna be okay or whatever, man, pray to the Lord. Whatever you want to learn, man. It's not my business what you want with the Lord, what you want to have, or what you want to know. That's when you're supposed to get to the praying, man. You know what I'm saying? Get to the praying. Ask the Lord, for signs. Actually talk to the Lord, man. You can't say you believe in the Lord and then you're not talking to the Lord. You know what I'm saying? That makes no sense, man. And you out here trusting in man, going, familiar spirits, man. That's going off, man. In verse 14, and inquired not of the Lord, therefore he slew him and turned the kingdom unto David, the son of Jesse, man. So, even despite, King Saul being a king, you know what I'm saying, he went off, man, because he went after familiar spirits, man. So that's a prime example, of not using familiar spirits, man. Especially if you a brother in the truth, man. The worst thing you could do, man, is go after familiar spirits, man. You know what I'm saying? I was watching a brother's video before, and the brother had a testimony. And he said, when he first got into the truth, he wanted to, go to a psychic or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Or he had intentions of going to a psychic. And then all of a sudden, he said he woke up the next morning after, having that thought, of going to the, psychic, to see the future or whatever. And then he said that basically he woke up, and he couldn't say a word. Like his mouth was literally like shut, like he couldn't speak, so that was a way of the Lord, punishing him for even having that thought in his head. You know what I'm saying? So that just goes to show you, man, that the Lord is not dealing with familiar spirits, man. You know what I'm saying? Because you're going after another God, man. We should have complete faith in the Lord. That the Lord will get things done for us, man. The Lord will handle business. You know what I'm saying? Remember, the Lord, you know what I'm saying? He was known as, Alashagia, man, in the ancient days, man, which means, demon-like power. So if you want the Lord, to judge someone, man, you know what I'm saying? That's nothing hard for him, man. He can easily judge that person. So if you want to put a curse on somebody or someplace, you know what I'm saying? You ask the Lord, man. You say it in the name of Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushai. You say Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushai Shalak Rayam Amah Shapak, man. May the Lord destroy, you know what I'm saying? May the Lord, curse, this place, man. Shalak Rayam Amashapak, man. Send curses, man. You know what I'm saying? You know? Don't go to these familiar spirits, man. Let's read that, Saul verse again, man. Let's look at verse Chronicles chapter 10, starting at the 13th verse. And it reads, So Saul died for his transgression, which he committed against the Lord, even against the word of the Lord, which he kept not, and also for asking counsel of one that have had familiar spirit to inquire of it, and inquired not of the Lord, therefore he slew him, man. So the Lord slew, Saul, man. You know what I'm saying? For not, keeping his word and going unto familiar spirits, man. And he turned the kingdom unto David, the son of Jesse, man. So that's how, David became king, man. You know what I'm saying? So, with that, Lord edified, so, a little lesson, what I'm saying, on familiar spirits. Any use of, dark magic, what I'm saying, Santa Maria, whatever, a lot of, the Latin tribes like using, what I'm saying, spirits too. These familiar spirits, man, whatever, it could be voodoo, whatever you want to call it, man. Any form of, familiar spirits, man, is off according to the scriptures. What I'm saying? It's a sin. And if you continue to use these things, if you're using it, man, you better stop, man, before it's, the Lord destroy your ass, man. You know what I'm saying? If you want things to be done, man, ask the Lord, man. You know what I'm saying? Ask the Lord. You know what I'm saying? Go pray. Speak to your Father, man. You know what I'm saying? When Yahweh Shai was going through, bad things, man, bad times, you know what I'm saying? Who did he talk to? He spoke to his Father. He prayed, He had begged his Father for mercy. You know what I'm saying? That's what you got to do. Don't go to these freaking spirits, man. You know what I'm saying? You don't got to turn a nigga into a goat, you know what I'm saying, to feel okay, man. The Lord is going to, handle niggas, man. And that's one of the main reasons why niggas, use these spirits, man. You know what I'm saying? It's to, try to bring a form of justice, man. But that's not how it always works, man. You know what I'm saying? The Lord is not dealing with that, man. So, brothers, man, keep the faith, man. You know what I'm saying? If you didn't know, now you know. Shalom, Abba, death to America.